Hey folks, Jaxzyn here. You can see it's calling it the last road, but we are about to run the +10 dungeon, Nelth's Lair. Neltharion's Lair, for anyone who's not aware, is a pretty straightforward dungeon, although in Legion 7.3 there's a bit of a change. So +10 is the max level dungeon. You can go up to +11, but as we seen last week in my +11 Dark Rook hold, there was no real benefit of doing that. So we'll continue to work these ugly devils. Might as well run through. So a couple different components of bursting. When slain, non-boss enemies explode, causing all players to suffer 10% of their max health and damage. It's obviously pretty critical to keep an eye on. In addition to that, there's a little bit more, so that's a pretty significant strain on the healer. Secondly, there's quaking. We've seen that a couple times already so far. Quaking periodically. All players emit a shockwave, and that inflicts damage and interrupts nearby allies, which is about as fun as it sounds. I don't know if we need drums with a lock, but it always takes a little bit of everybody. We'll see. We don't want to start pulling this big trash here. What is happening there? I don't know if it's just this minion. I'm going to put that minion away. And just like that, we've got some company. Alright, so just like that, we're on Rockmora. Rockmora, you can see you got choking dust. You've got a couple random adds that occasionally spawn that need to be taken care of. And then really we just have to burn this boss down. +10, pretty straightforward. Finally, the third affix that we're playing with here is actually fortified. So non-boss enemies have 20% more health, which actually makes it pretty straightforward. Knocking down trash isn't a big challenge. They inflict up to 30% increased damage, so that's certainly a little bit of a buff for them, but nothing that's gonna ruin our day here. See what we can do. Keep whacking away. Obviously, for all DPS, continue to try to hit that boss in the back. It makes that much of a difference. a bit of a knockback into the choking gas, but nothing too crazy. A hard time making some contact there. I don't know if I even believe what my recount is showing me. That tank is just putting up massive damage. I had that Trink on my off-spec. Chrono Shard. Your spells and abilities have a chance to grant you 6,000 haste. Lair, I think, is probably my favorite dungeon out of everything that's 7.3. Pretty straightforward. But overall, you see what we're working with here. Just really impressed with this damage so far and that we're seeing from this tank. And we'll do what we can to knock this down. Awesome, one down. Getting rid of that little bit of trash that's hanging out. Running the drum is the big thing. Perfect. How about that? Nice to have some people who know what they're doing. Perfect. Alright, so Thraxus for DPS is kind of traditional, pretty solid DPS burn for the most part. You can see they start calling for minions right off the bat. Keep an eye open for them. That's adds that basically we need to make sure to get cleaved down. You can see there's the first one. There goes the second. With that toxic wreck, just clear the area. You're gonna see a little bit of a challenge here, but overall pretty confident across this random group. It's encouraging anyway. This mechanic picks up where the boss queues on the tank, spend some time doing what she can. To absorb that requires a cooldown, typically from the healer to keep the boss up. Just like that. Cleaned, no problem. Thraxus down, minute 36, new record. Previous record for a +10 was 3 minutes. So I think that just goes to speak to the team that I'm playing with. And finally we've got Dargwell next. We've got a little bit of a trash clear that we've got to get straightened away first. And we'll see what we can do to make that happen. How about that? Clean. Real clean. We're only at 90% now, but that's not too bad. We will get to work on these two. Hey, and we're making progress. Alright. That trash down. Try to get away fierce. I'm gonna go grab a little bit of candy right here. Do what I gotta do to get all buffed up. Take a couple moments. Magma Sculptor now comes in, queues up on one of us, you use the crystals as they're seen right there. Typically get the stun. Whoever we're playing with decided against doing that, so it's going to put a little more pressure on us to get the job done as from a DPS standpoint. Oh, we got lucky. The second crystal that came up came to the exact spot we could have hoped for. Alright, somebody just dropped the drums or a haste. And that's awesome. Gotta watch out. Dargul will be very soonly start off a magma wave. You can see it's right there. Magma Sculptor gets stood up. And this ugly devil is focused on me. Queue up on Dargul. It's just that easy. There's our weekly best. Perfect. That's my +10. Awesome. We will pick up a 930 head. That's pretty fantastic. How about that? I'm going to need to figure out what to do. That's a pretty solid, straightforward eye level upgrade for me. I think if I throw that on, though, I'm going to have to eat an eye level dip somewhere. Or maybe get to keep my tier 4 going. Cool. I hope you liked watching. That's a Mythic +10 with 930 helm. Awesome. Cool. Hit me up in the comments about things I can do better. I'm definitely open to the feedback. Hit me up with a like or subscribe. It definitely all helps out, folks. Okay, we'll talk to you later.